everyone, welcome to another innovative hobby supply video. I'm AJ, your instructor, and today we're going to be assembling the 164 Racers Lounge Building Kit. The 164 Racers Lounge Kit is a perfect addition to any model diorama, slot car track, or train layout. The model's windows create an awesome area to display slot cars on both sides of the building. It comes with 5 sheets total, 4 pieces of window plastic, landscape moss, material for the table stands, and lastly, 3 model people. One of the most important skills to know before assembling your innovative hobby supply model is scoring. It involves a straight edge and a hobby knife to break the surface tension so that the flex stock is able to bend clean. As you can see, I made a practice piece to show you how it's done. Simply line up the ruler along the line and gently press down the hobby knife on the flex stock. Once done, fold. This technique allows you to make a flat, ordinary piece of flex stock into something more intricate and 3D. Today we'll be using the standard equipment for this model: a ruler, scissors, watercolor markers, a hobby knife, hot glue gun, and some scotch tape. So let's jump right into it. The very first step is to carefully cut around the art that's included in the kit with a good pair of scissors. I recommend gathering the smaller items into groups after cutting each page, so it's less likely to lose anything that's important. And for the base, carefully cut the white outer edges off. Here's what it looks like after cutting all the items out. With the scale building kits, there's usually no correct place to begin. In this case, we'll start by prepping the smaller items like these optional race flags. Start by gathering both front and back sides of the flags. Place in pairs so it's easy when gluing. Grab one and face the white side towards you. Place a small amount of glue onto the white back side. After, place the other side flag on top evenly. Repeat the step for all the flags. Next, grab a black watercolor marker and carefully touch up the white sides of the flags with light strokes. Once done, I recommend slightly bending or curving the flags a little to the left or right for more realism. Now let's move on to the next step. Let's prep the patio bar tables. Score all the white lines with a hobby knife and a ruler. Fold everything into a cuboid. For the small gray tab, fold downwards, then use a small amount of hot glue to connect the sides. After, touch up any white areas with a brown watercolor marker. Put both bar tables aside for later. Next, collect all the hangover fence plant holders. Score all the white lines and fold into a cuboid. After, secure together with hot glue. Touch up any white lines with a black watercolor marker. After, grab the landscape moss that's included in the kits. Grab just enough to represent small bushes on top of the plant holder. Glue it on top with hot glue. And voila, now you have 4 realistic plant holders. These will be perfect for the fence later on. For this step, let's assemble the patio tables. Touch up both the tabletops and tablecloths with the correct corresponding watercolor marker. Next, place a very small amount of hot glue onto the table and place the cloth on top evenly. If you don't want the tablecloths on top, then skip this small step. Then grab the black straw material included in the kit. We will use this for the table legs. I used the patio chair side to show you the size of the table leg should be. Cut 4 pieces of the black straw. Once done, I recommend placing hot glue onto the bottom of the table to attach the leg. Hold upwards until dry and repeat the step for all the tables. This step is where the fun comes in. Pick any little meal plate and glue them in however placement you would like on top of the tables. Now let's assemble the bar stools. Super easy and quick. Touch up the sides of the bar stool tops with a corresponding marker. Then grab the black straw. I use the patio chair side again to show you the size the stool height should be. Cut 4 pieces of black straw. Once done, glue them onto the white side of the bar stool tops. Hold upwards until dry. Furthermore, let's assemble the patio chairs. Score the 4 white lines with a hobby knife and a ruler. Fold all the sides downward to create a cube. And from the inside, place small amounts of hot glue in between the corners. Hold all the sides together until completely dried. Once dried, touch up the white areas with a corresponding watercolor marker. Make however many chairs you would like. Then grab the patio chair backs and score the white middle line. Fold the top evenly downwards onto the back of the other and place a small amount of hot glue in between the sides. Touch up with a watercolor marker. After, grab the patio chair bottoms we assembled earlier. Grab one and place a small amount of hot glue on the side. Then place a chair back on top while lining up the bottoms evenly. Repeat this step to every patio chair. Moving forward, let's assemble the illusion room. Gently score the 2 white lines with a hobby knife and a ruler. Gently fold the sides inwards. Then touch up the white lines with a gray watercolor marker. Set aside for later. Next, let's prep the front wall awning. Touch up the outer edges with a gray watercolor marker. Score the white line with a hobby knife and a ruler. Then gently fold the small tab on top downwards. After, touch up with a gray watercolor marker on the scored seam and put aside for later. The last small item we need to prep is the fence. Grab both the left and right side fence and score the middle white lines with a hobby knife and a ruler. Fold the top side evenly downwards. Touch up any white areas with a light brown marker. Then place glue in between the fences and press down. For the side fence with the gate, which is the right one, I recommend avoiding placing the hot glue where the hinges are and where the gate opens. Cut the side where the gate opens with scissors and keep the right small side. Touch up the white areas with a brown marker. Then, where the hinges are on the gate, score with a hobby knife and a ruler. Fold the gate inwards. After, touch up the scored seam and put everything aside for later. And for the big fence, score the white middle line. Fold the top evenly downwards. Before gluing, touch up any white areas with a brown watercolor marker. Then place glue in between and press down on one side and slide your thumb on top, keeping the pressure down while sliding to the other end of the fence. Lastly, touch up the scored seam with a marker and put aside for later. Moving forward, let's start prepping the building's 6 windows on the 5 walls. The windows will enhance the realism and also give you 2 amazing areas to display any slot cars of your choice. But first, let's touch up the outer edges of the walls with a brown watercolor marker. We can't forget such an important step. Next, let's start scoring any areas we need to on the walls. On the front wall, score the 2 glue tabs with a hobby knife and a ruler. Then, fold the tabs slightly inwards. After scoring, don't forget to touch up any scored seams with a watercolor marker. For the left and right back side walls, score the white line where my finger is tracing. Fold the blue walls 90 degrees inwards from the front side. Then, touch up with a brown watercolor marker. For the left and right regular side walls, score the glue tabs with a hobby knife and ruler. After, touch up with a brown watercolor marker. Do this step for both of the side walls and put aside for later. After scoring, now it's time for the windows. Where my finger is tracing, this is where we need to create 2 slits with a pair of scissors. Start cutting from the bottom of the wall to the inside part of the window frame. avoiding cutting the window frame at all times. Once you almost reach the top frame, stop cutting. Then grab a ruler and line it up with the bottom part of the top window frame, and cut with a hobby knife. The inside section of the window should come off nicely. If it doesn't, carefully cut any areas that are still connected. Next, touch up the inside part of the cut window sections with a brown watercolor marker. Repeat all the same steps to cut out the windows on the other walls. The left and right side walls, cut the inside part of the windows out using a pair of scissors for the sides, and hobby knife and ruler for the top. Throw away the inside window sections after they are taken out. Once the inside part of the windows are cut out, grab the front wall and flip it over, so that the white side is facing you. Grab the two small window plastic pieces from the kit and carefully unwrap both sides of the plastic until it's see-through. Line up each piece of window plastic onto an open window section evenly. Line up the bottom of the wall with the plastic, then either use Scotch tape to secure or a small amount of hot glue. Make sure the tape or glue is not seen from the front side. Then, for the left and right side walls, grab the bigger pieces of window plastic from the kit and unwrap until clear. Once clear, follow the same steps as we did for the front wall. Flip over, place the plastic on top evenly, and secure. Same thing for the left and right back side walls with the smaller pieces of window plastic. Now it's time to install the matching length bottom add-on walls. First, touch up the outer white edges with the brown watercolor marker to all the bottom walls. When done, grab the correct two bottom walls for the front wall and line up with the rest of the window frames and the bottom of the original wall. Glue one side at a time to avoid any unevenness. Place a small amount of hot glue on one end and line up evenly. Wait until dry, then glue the other side. Do the same thing to the other window. Also repeat these same steps for all the other windows. Now we have very realistic see-through windows, perfect for displaying slot cars. Grab the matching length bottom add-on wall for the left and right back side walls, glue one side at a time, glue the other side, and voila! Do the same thing for the other back side wall. For the left and right side walls, the bottom walls we will use will be the longer ones. When gluing, still glue one side at a time, but place a small amount of hot glue in the middle so the bottom wall doesn't bump out later. Now it's time to secure the front wall onto the base. First, touch up the base's white edges with a dark marker. Then place the front wall onto the front of the base. Line up the wall with the white line that's behind the plans. Make sure it's the correct area before gluing. When gluing the front wall, place very small amounts of hot glue behind the wall, but avoid placing glue too close to the outer edges and where the red arrows point, as it would later interfere with the side walls and the inner walls. Place glue mostly in the middle and small amounts at the ends. Hold until dry. You can glue one side at a time to make it easier to secure to the base. Next, let's prep the front bump out wall. Score the two white lines on the sides and the glue tabs with a hobby knife and a ruler. Then fold the sides 90 degrees inwards from the front side, then fold the glue tabs inwards. After, touch up any white areas with a gray marker and the scored seams. The next step is totally optional, but I highly recommend it. For this step, we're going to open the front door. Use a pair of scissors to cut the middle of the door. Then score the sides where the door hinges are with a hobby knife and a ruler. Next, cut the top of the door with a hobby knife and a ruler. Afterwards, carefully push open the door slightly inwards and touch up with a gray watercolor marker. Once done, put aside for later. Then, grab the back wall and score the 2 glue tabs with a hobby knife and a ruler. Fold both the glue tabs inwards. Then touch up any wet areas with a gray watercolor marker. After, open the patio door just like how we opened the front door. Open carefully and touch up any wet areas with a gray watercolor marker. The last thing we need to prep is the inner left and right walls. Score the glue tabs and fold inwards. Then, touch up the scored seams with a gray watercolor marker. Put aside for later. Grab the front bump out wall we just prepped and line it up with the white lines on the gray rectangle located on the base. If your front door is open, I recommend coloring the area where the door will be on the base lightly with a gray marker. Also line it up evenly with the front wall. Once understood where it goes, place glue along one of the glue tabs and place evenly against the front wall. Repeat on the other side. Moving forward, let's attach the right side wall. Make sure the glue tab on the side wall is facing towards the back of the building. Place glue along the front wall's glue tab and line up the right side wall evenly. Once dry, turn over. Line the wall evenly with the white line on the base and place a very small amount of hot glue behind the wall. Hold until dry. Repeat the same steps when applying the left side wall. Next, let's apply the inner walls. Evenly line up the correct side to the back side of the front wall. Place hot glue along the glue tab and place evenly and straight. Place a small amount of hot glue on the back of the wall, but don't place the glue too close to the end. Repeat for the other side. After installing the inner walls, check it out through the side wall windows. Super neat and realistic. Furthermore, let's attach the right back side wall. Use the right side wall glue tab to connect the right back side wall. Once together, place a small amount of hot glue behind the blue side and put evenly against the back side of the inner wall. Repeat the same steps for the left back side wall. Now it's time to attach the back wall to the rest of the building. Place it evenly in between the inner walls while lining up the wall to the white line on the base. But before gluing, use a gray marker to touch up the white line on the base where the patio door will be. Line up on the white line again and place a small amount of hot glue behind the glue tabs from behind the wall. Then grab the illusion room we scored earlier and place it behind the patio door. Use hot glue to secure to the base. Next, grab the parking lot add-on and place it on top evenly on the main base like shown in the video. Glue one side at a time. The parking lot gives you a perfect opportunity to display even more slot cars, but is totally optional. Moving forward, let's prep the main roof. Touch up the sides with a gray marker, then score the white line on the main roof. Fold the small tab slightly downwards. After, touch up the scored seam with a gray marker. Then grab the roof fence and touch up the white sides on all of them. After, place them on top of the original art with hot glue. Now it's ready to be placed on top. But first, let's place the small roofs on top of the building first. Once they're on, place the main roof on top. Place a small amount of hot glue below the main roof to secure tightly onto the building. For the small side roofs, you can either place a small amount of hot glue along the side of the building like shown in the video and glue the roof against it so you can open and close it, or simply leave them on top. Let's work on the patio. Place a small amount of hot glue along the bottom of the back fence and glue it against the base here. Then glue the left side fence on, then the right side. Don't forget to glue on the small piece of fence we cut out earlier. Then grab the hangover fence plant holders and glue the back sides onto the back fence with hot glue. After, place the bar tables on the inner parts of the patio. Place one on the far left end and on the right end. Use hot glue to secure against the back wall. Then place the bar stools next to the bar tables. Once done, place the patio tables and chairs anywhere you would like. Now that the patio is done, let's place some landscape moss up front to make realistic bushes. Use hot glue to secure pieces of moss on the original art. Now, the building looks 4 times better. And finally, the last step. Grab the front awning, use a small tab to place glue, and secure against the front wall. Push slightly down, and we are done. The Racers Lounge is a level 3 skill kit and will take approximately 2.5 hours to complete. Once this model is assembled, it's plenty rugged and will give any hobbyist many years of enjoyment for displaying 1/64 slot cars. You can get this model and many others on innovativehobbysupply.com. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe down below, and if you have further questions about the building we just assembled, make sure to check out our website at innovativehobbysupply.com.